The next technique that I'm going to show you is actually a series of techniques around the idea of a built cocktail. The cocktail of choice, a highball, but specifically a chuhai because I'll be mixing with shochu. Just a fun little note about the name chuhai. It is a combination of two words, shochu, meaning highball. Taking the ending of shochu, the beginning of highball, we have a chuhai. A fun little technique when it comes to opening certain bottles that come from Japan is if you're opening a brand new bottle in front of a guest, when you twist and break the seal, there's a little tab that breaks away. Rather than taking the cap all the way off the bottle and pulling that top off, I actually like to return the cap in place and then pull the little tab away, placing that trash in my little pocket. And then I'm back in business, ready to open the bottle. But before we go into pouring this beautiful liquid into the glass, let me show you my techniques for building a highball. Starting off with a stunning glass. This is from Kimura Glass Company. It is extremely delicate, very, very thin. To that, I'm going to introduce these lovely blocks of ice. I like to use 2 large pieces of ice when building my highballs because the way that they fall over time allows for a little bit more room for the liquid to interplay between the surfaces of the 2 cubes for that beautiful chill that we love. But also, sometimes I've found that when it's one single large piece of ice in a narrow Collins glass, that it's actually bumping up against my nose when I'm drinking it, especially if it's something really refreshing that you end up drinking very quickly. So it's nice to have ice that will fall a little bit over time. I'm going to start off with a very gently shaved piece of ice, just a little bit taken off of the side so it fits beautifully into the glass, bringing the glass to the ice rather than the ice to the glass so that we're protecting this very delicate and beautiful vessel. I enjoy using a very, very thin glass for a drink like a chuhai and highball because you can actually feel the carbonation. You can feel the sensation of cold and the sensation of bubbles behind that glass as you're placing it against your lips before you're even tasting it. And I think that's just such a special experience. I'm forming a pretty little diamond cut, faceted top just for this drink, just to provide a little bit of interest and intrigue for folks. For this piece, I'm leaving the glass on the bar and just bringing the ice into it now that it has that steady foundation. From here, a moment to chill the glass fully. Another beautiful thing about extremely thin glass is that it chills relatively quickly. And you can see with just a few revolutions, there's a little bit of water forming. That's the ice melting, but also the glass chilling. The glass is starting to feel cold to the touch. So I'm now going to take a moment to pour off that melted water. I like to use a julep strainer for things like this, holding the ice back, bringing the glass back down, and then from here onto the build. Working with Ichiko Silhouette for this chuhai, 25% ABV, which is very classic for shochu and for chuhai, more on the low proof side of the spectrum. A gentle pour. I allow it to go straight over the ice. It'll wash away any little fuzzies or pieces of ice that may have been stuck there after carving, but it also starts the process of chilling this liquid as I am pouring from room temperature. Since this is a chuhai, it's very popular to have just a hint of fruit or citrus involved in the drink. I have a lovely lemon oleo saccharum here that I'm going to add straight into the liquid. Just a touch of that gorgeous kind of fruity tartness to highlight the delicate notes of the Ichiko Silhouette. Since I added a weighty ingredient to the mix, I am going to give it just a little bit of a nuzzle and a stir here. You may have noticed that the ice stuck to the side of the glass a little bit just now. That sometimes happens when working with really, really thin glass. It takes on the cold so well that the glass and the ice freeze together for just a moment. Now that those two ingredients are fully incorporated together, we can add our mixer. I'm coming in straight from the cooler. Always work with chilled mixers, please. It makes a world of difference. This club soda has a really brilliant balance of minerals, a large peppy bubble as well, which is why I really enjoy it for my highballs. When pouring, you want to avoid the ice. I like to think of the carbonation in a club soda as like little water balloons that you want to throw across a cliff into a big pool of water below. But if they hit the sides of the cliff, they'll all burst before they reach the bottom. So with the bubbles, I'm extra gentle, making sure that they go straight into the liquid rather than touching the side of the glass or the side of the ice. And with that, we have a chuhai. A final touch, which sometimes adds a lovely little element of care to the drink, is a nuzzle. And again, this is helpful when working with things like a syrup in a chuhai. I just lift the ice up, a little nuzzle up, and then down. Spoon slides out very gently, and then the chuhai is ready to be served.